Yeah, it was interesting, the topic of cancel culture, of like who really is canceled. And I wonder if folks have asked you about this, because you opened for Katt Williams for a long time. And
Yeah.
he spoke out kind of recently on cancel culture. I'm sure at this point, like, everybody has seen this video, but I'm just going to play it really quick for the audience, for people who have not seen it, who have not heard of this. But I thought his take on sort of cancel culture was kind of interesting. I wanted to hear your thoughts, but I'm going to play it for the audience really quick. Did you? And that came out like a month ago. People were talking about this a lot. Probably. Yeah, I think maybe beginning
my
of June.
Really retarded.
R-worded. So how long did you? I guess maybe I should have asked first. How did you meet Katt? How did you end up working with him? How did you sort of?
It's a crazy, somewhat circuitous story that. The worst L I ever took in my life was at this venue called Robin Hood Del East in Philly. And it was 7,000 people. It was, I think it was this weekend. It was 4th of July weekend. It became known as the Free Beanie Siegel concert. I had no business being there. I was like 5-6 months into comedy. And it was just like, it's a long story, but it was just a savage booing. I mean, just got the living shit booed out of me by, like, yeah, it was absurd. And I told that story to my buddy Toure 7 or 8 years later when we were on tour we were doing a military tour in Korea. And when we got back, he's like, yo, Robin Hood Del East just hit me up. They're looking for comics. Would you want to even the score? It's like, yeah, fuck yeah. And this time, like, did really well. And the manager, or like the production manager, gave me his card and was like, hey, I'd love to get you on some shows again. And like once every 4 months, when I wanted to comedy kill myself, for lack of any bookings going on, I would hit that guy up. And for like 4 or 5 years. And he hit me up just out of nowhere on a Friday and it was like, hey, can you open for Katt Williams tomorrow in Philly? It's like, fuck yes, I can.
Did you shit your pants?
Yeah, I was psyched. And it was 15 minutes in for his crowd. And I was super psyched about it, and like I knew what I was doing at this point. And a black crowd in Philly for me it's like cheating. It's like I know the cheat code for that audience. And
what is the cheat code?
Just go hard, like not give a fuck, go super hard right away. But he wasn't there yet. I was like, oh, I want this guy to see me, and he wasn't there.
How many years into comedy were you at this point?
Probably 7 or 8.
Okay. Yeah, that's solid. You're like solidly ready to open for somebody good. I mean, you're probably possibly headlining at that time too.
I mean, not for this crowd. But so there's it was like 7,000 people probably, and I kill, but I'm like, fuck, he's not here. And I walk off the stage, and it's straight out of a movie. This dude comes out of the shadows like, young man, absolutely stupendous. I mean, like fur hat, solid gold glasses, fur coat, purple suit. Wow. Like, Pete Katt. I was like, dude, thank you so much. Like, I can't believe you watched. And he's like, I didn't watch, but I heard the crowd, and it was absolutely stupendous.
Wow.
I was like, dude, I would love to do more shows.
Sounds like a Black Willy Wonka. I mean, he just does a somersault. Like, welcome to my factory.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll have you on the road, and that's my word. And
wow.
And like 2 months later, I got a call from him, from his people. And it was the same thing again. It was Thursday night. And it was like, hey, can you be on a plane at 6 a.m. tomorrow? And it's like, okay. And then and every weekend it was happening like that. It was just like super last minute until I finally asked him if I could be on the tour. And he's like, yeah, I'll call you. And there was like a 2-week gap. He was supposed to call me like the next day. Shit, like keeps getting pushed off. Then finally it's like, it's not going to happen. And
Okay.
then at like 4 a.m. on a Friday, I get a call from him. Well, it's a 310 number I don't know, and I pick it up, and he's like, yeah, Richie, this is Katt Williams. I was just going to leave you a message, but can you come to Texas in like 2 hours? I was like, okay. So I go. I like just get out of bed, throw a
What
suit.
time was this?
It was 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
And I had to be at the airport at like 6. And it's like part hazing, but it's also like he's just the kind of dude that he doesn't want to do anything he's not feeling until he has to absolutely do it, you know? So
he sounds like a last minute guy. Yeah. I feel like this would give me a lot of anxiety.
A bit mercurial.
Just, not only do I fly by the seat of my pants, so does everybody who works with me.
Yeah, but it was always like first class ticket, you know, it was like first class lodging, like everything was super nice. But it finally gets down to the point that like everybody on that's already on the tour, they're like, yeah, man, you just have to talk to him. Like he really likes it. It's just like, you got to talk to him. And it's like, finally, it's like 3 shows later, it's the final night. And it winds up that it's just me and him on the, in his green room. I was like, hey, and like, we're like leaving. And I was like, hey man, should I like cancel my shows? He's like, do you want to cancel your shows? I was like, am I going to be on your tour? Do you want to be on my tour?
Oh God.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yes. He's like, motherfucker, I already told you you're on. I was like, when? He's like, I left you a message. It's like, Katt, I picked up and you got all fucked up because I picked up. He's like, oh, you know what? You did fuck that up. I was going to leave you a message you'd have for the rest of your life. But you're on the tour. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was a very long answer. And then it was just, I guess it was like 3 years in a row of touring with him. And we did like 180 shows or something. It was a crazy run.
What kind of stuff would he have in his green room? Like what kind of like snacks or what did he like to have?
It was whatever the local soul food was. He would like hire like, you know, like local black businesses basically. And just a ton of good booze, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you kind of knew his feelings on comedy overall. You probably would have like long chats, you know, about like the industry, right? Or was the tour mostly like kind of all business, like running around? Like, did you have a lot of time to chat with him? And
some, I mean, I would say if anybody wants to stay on tour with a celebrity, is the secret is to not try to be their best friend.
Okay.
You know, like they're all cats. Like they want to interact with you on their terms. So yeah, I mean, we definitely had some of those chats, but I mean, his thing about, cancel doesn't have a culture. It's also coming from, it's easier for somebody in his position to say that because, like, you know, he's a guy he's an OG. He's allowed to say bitches and hoes, and you know, and like I'm sure he's done a ton of trans jokes. He's done a ton of gay jokes and shit like that, right? Nobody's gonna go, like, his audience isn't gonna go back and hold that against him.
Right. He's like, uncancelable. He's reached a level of like fame and fandom that
he fought a child and the child won, and he's still at it, you know. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're in such a better position starting out there as opposed to, like, I feel like there's so many comics, and that I wonder if you'd agree that it's like they're more concerned with being right than funny.
Yeah.
And if that's what your concern is, then whatever is right is always going to keep moving to the left, like correct, right? Whatever's correct, whatever's the correct viewpoint, that keeps getting fucking moved to the left. So it's impossible to hold the gold standard of being woke, right? I mean, it's like, it's a meme at this point.
No one is perfect. And
yeah,
I've also heard a similar thing said in relationships. Like, would you rather be right or be happy? So there's always like there's no one who's going to be. And I listened to this Katt thing a few times. I agree with some of what he said. I have a problem with some of what he said as well. And he mentions the speed limit. Well, we need the speed limit. I don't feel like that's a fair comparison because it's not the speed. Like, words are not as dangerous as a speeding car. Words only have the value that we give to them. Words are not, to me, I don't think words are dangerous. It's just you're as offended or as hurt as you want to be. Right. Even if someone is coming at you with the most triggering shit, like, it's your job as an adult to, like, don't let anybody steal your peace. Like, don't let anybody disturb like what you have going on. Yeah. So I don't think it's fair to compare like cancel culture to the speed limit because it's a matter of taste. Like, same thing, like a lot of comics say the N-word if I wanted to, or if a black person wanted to, they could be like, I have to cancel. It wouldn't work with Katt, but somebody on a lower level, like, I gotta cancel this person because they say the N-word and I'm offended. But it's like, guess what? That offended people don't make up comedy clubs. Like, they're not buying comedy. So it's like, I feel like cancel culture empowers the offended few and allows them to take away content and comedy from the masses. Like, why should the offended few be able to dictate what everybody else can and can't enjoy?
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, Katt's coming at it from the perspective of like the words that you say while you're on stage. But yeah, I mean, I think like the speed limit and guardrail shit is like, did you rape somebody? Like, are there credible allegations?
Like things you've actually done, right?
Yeah, like actions versus words, I think.
Of course, like,
should be
do something despicable in your real waking life. Like, of course, there should be real world consequences for that. But like, I think, and there's separate rules for celebrities than there are for regular people. Like, look at Chrissy Teigen; she got so many chances. Like, there had to be like 100 examples of her bullying for somebody to finally be like, oh yeah, we should maybe try to cancel her, or maybe not even cancel, but like, there needs to be repercussions. Like, let's get her cooking-wear line at a Target, out of Bed Bath Beyond, whatever.
And have something to do with that?
Maybe no. I blame Candace Owens. I think she was a huge catalyst for that. I just pointed out that she deleted tweets last summer. No big deal.
Dude,
I think, and they've got teams of PR people helping them through. I feel like cancel culture hurts mostly like the little guy. Like, regular people and famous people have different rules.